Abbess or lady abbess, a bawd, the mistress of a brothel. Right. Abel Wackets, blows given in the palm of the hand, with a twisted handkerchief instead of a ferula, a jocular punishment among seamen, who sometimes play at cards for Wackets, the loser suffering as many strokes as he has lost game. Abigail, a lady's waiting maid. Abram, naked cunt. Abram Cove, a cunt, word among thieves signifying a naked or poor man, also a lusty strong rogue. Abram men, pretended madmen, to sham a wren, to pretend sickness, academy or pushing school, a brothel, the floating academy, the lighters on board of which those persons are confined who by a late regulation are condemned to the hard labour instead of for transportation. Campbell's Academy, the same, from a gentleman of that name, who had the contract for victualling the hulks or lighters. Ace of spades, a widow. Accounts, to cast up one's account, to vomit. Acorn, you will ride a horse fouled by an acorn, i.e. the gallows, called also the wooden three-legged mare. You'll be hanged. See the three-legged mare. Act of Parliament, a military term for small beer, 5 pints of which by an Act of Parliament a landlord was formally obliged to give to each soldier gratis. Actaeon, a cuckold from the horns planted on the head of Actaeon by Diana. Active citizen, a louse. Adams Ale, water. Adams Tyler, a pickpocket's associate, who receives the stolen goods and runs off with them. Can't, or cunt. Addlepate, a inconsiderate foolish fellow. Addleplot, a spoil sport, a marul. Admiral of the Blue, who carries his flag on the mainmast, a landlord or publican wearing a blue apron, as was formerly the custom among gentlemen of that vocation. Admiral of the narrow seas, one who from drunkenness vomits into the lap of person sitting opposite to him. Sea phrase. Adrift, loose, turned adrift, discharged. Sea phrase. A grottat, Cambridge, a certificate from the apothecary that you're indisposed, i.e. to go to chapel. He sports an agritat. He is sick, unable to attend chapel or hall. It does not follow, however, but he can strum a piece or sport a pair of oars. Affidavit men, knights of the post or false witnesses, said to attend Westminster Hall and other courts of justice, ready to swear anything for hire. Afterclap, a demand after the first given in has been discharged. A charge for pretended omissions, in short, anything disagreeable happening after all consequences of the course have been for to an end. Against the grain, unwilling, it went much against the grain with him, i.e. it was much against his inclination or against his pluck. Agog, all agog, anxious, eager, impatient, from the Italian agogere, to desire eagerly. Aground, stuck fast, stopped, at a loss, ruined, like a boat or vessel aground. Air and exercise. He has had air and exercise, i.e. he has been whipped at the cart's tail, or, as it is generally thought, more vulgarly expressed, at the cart's arse. Did they censor that? A.C. Is that arse? Fuck knows. Alderman, a roasted turkey garnished with sausages. The latter are supposed to represent the gold chain worn by those magistrates. Aldgate, a draft from the pump at Aldgate's, a bad bill of exchange, drawn on persons who have no effect of the draw. Ale draper, an ale housekeeper. Ale post, a maypole. All amort, struck dumb, confounded, what a sweet one, all amort, Shakespeare. All holiday, it is all holiday at Peckham, or it is an all holiday with him, a saying signifying that it is all over, with the business or person, spoken or alluded to. All hollow, he was beat all hollow, i.e. he had no chance of conquering, it was all hollow, or a hollow thing, it was a decided thing from the beginning, see hollow. All nations, a composition of all the different spirits sold in a dram shop, collected in a vessel into which the drainings of the bottles and quartern pots are emptied. Alls, the 5 alls in a country sign representing 5 human figures, each having a motto under him. The first is a king in his regalia, his motto, I govern all. The second, a bishop in pontificals, motto, I pray for all. Third, a lawyer in his gown, motto, I plead for all. Fourth, a soldier in his regiments, fully accoutred, motto, I fight for all. Fifth, a poor countryman with his safe, a rake, motto, I pay for all. Ultimal, a verbal or lump account without particulars, such as is currently produced at bawdy houses, sponging houses, viaduct reckoning. Altitudes, the man is in his altitudes, i.e. he is drunk. Ambassador, a trick to duck some ignorant fellow or landsman. Frequently played on board ships in the warm latitudes, it is thus managed. A large tub is filled with water and 2 stools placed on each side of it. Over the whole is thrown a tarpaulin or old sail. It's continuing. It is kept tight by 2 persons who are to represent the king and queen of a foreign country and are seated on the stalls. The person intended to be ducked plays the ambassador, and after repeating a ridiculous speech dictated to him is led in great form up to the throne and seated between the king and queen, who, rising suddenly, as soon as he is seated he falls backwards into the tub of water. Ambassador or Dar of Morocco, a shoemaker. See Mrs. Clark's examination. Ambidexter, a lawyer who takes fees from both plaintiff and defendant, or that goes snacks with both parties in gaming. Ambidexter. Amen Curler, a parish clerk. Amen, or is it amen? Probably. Amen, 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 amen. It's probably amen. He said yes and amen to everything. He agreed to everything. Aminabad, Aminabadab, Aminabab, fucking hell. Aminadab, a jeering name for a Quaker. A Quaker. Aims ace within aims ace, nearly very near. To amuse, to fling dust or snuff in the eyes of the person intended to be robbed. Also to invent some plausible tale, to delude shopkeepers and others, thereby to put them off their guard. Can't. It's cunt, isn't it? Cunt. Might be, I don't know. Can't what? Fucking amusers, rogues who carried snuff or dust in their pockets, which they threw into the eyes of any person they intended to rob, and running away, their accomplices, pretending to assist and pity the half-blinded person, took the opportunity of plundering him. Okay. Anabaptist, a pickpocket caught in the fact, and punished with the discipline of the pump or horse pond. Anchor, bring your ass to an anchor. Yeah, it must be arse. Why censor that? Bring your ass to an anchor, i.e. sit down, to let go an anchor to the windward of the law, to keep within the letter of the law. See wit. Anglers, pilferers, or petty thieves who, with a stick having a hook at the end, steal goods out of shop windows. Grades. Is that cunt and C? Also those who draw in or entice unwary persons to prick at the belt or such like devices. Angling for farthings, begging out of a prison window, with a cap or box let down at the end of a long string. How nice. Ankle. A girl who is got with child is said to have sprained her ankle. Anodine necklace. A halter. Anthony or Tantony pig. The favourite or smallest pig in the litter, to follow like a Tantony pig, i.e. Saint Anthony's pig, to follow close at one's heel. Saint Anthony, the hermit, was a swineherd, and is also represented with a swine's bell and a pig. Some derive this saying from a privilege earned by friars of a certain convents. In England and France, sons of Saint Anthony whose swine were permitted to feed in the streets, these swine would follow anyone having greens or other provisions, till they obtained some of them, and it was in those days considered an act of charity and religion to feed them. How nice. Pigs with buckets on their fucking backs or baskets. Feed the pig with your money. Go. To knock Anthony, said to an in-need person or one whose knees knock together. To cuff Jonas. See Jonas. Ape leader, an old maid, their punishment after death for neglecting, increase and multiply, will be, it is said, leading apes in hell. Apostles. To maneuver the apostle, i.e. rob Peter to pay Paul, that is, to borrow money of one man to pay another. Apostles, Cambridge, men who are plucked, refused their degree.